All right, guys, welcome to anger management group number 4. You guys thought you got rid of me, but you didn't, right? I may not be there on campus, but I'm here and I'm going to lead you all in this lecture so we can just kind of continue going with what we've been learning, all right? So today is group 4 with anger management, all right? Today we're going to be talking about calming techniques. So the last 3 weeks have been a lot of background information, getting you to kind of understand how your brain works, how your body works, and just having a good foundation. And so you basically have that foundation now, have a good understanding of the rational side of the brain and the irrational side of the brain, and that all of the signals come to the irrational side of the brain first, and that's when we tend to act out of impulse without really thinking about it. That's where we do things and then like, oh man, why did I do that, And then the rational side of the brain gets the signal second, and that's where we have to really begin to start thinking about what we're going to be doing. And that's where all of our reason comes from. So it's basically the irrational side and the rational side of the brain. And so you guys have a pretty good understanding of how that works. And so now we're going to actually begin to start putting things into practice. And you're going to learn techniques today. Maybe some of them you already know, maybe some of them you're already practicing. But if not, I want to encourage you all to participate in all of these techniques. All right. So you may not like all of them. All right. And that's totally fine. All right. But what I want you to do is put your, just put an effort into it. You get out of it what you put into it. All right. If you don't practice it, you're not going to find out whether you like it or not. If you don't practice it, you won't find out that it works. All right. And so don't just throw it all out and just ignore it and fall asleep. All right. So no sleeping, guys. I can't see you, but I know which ones of you are sleeping. Don't put your mask over your face. All right. Or over your eyes. All right. Don't try to put it over your eyes and pretend like you're not sleeping. All right. Because we know when you put your mask over your eyes that you're sleeping. All right. So pay attention. Let's get going with this. So now one of the things is a lot of guys think that these techniques are strictly for women, right? That they're very feminine. All right. And so what I want to challenge you with today is that it's not, that men can practice these techniques just as much as women can. All right. And they work. All right. That's the reason why I teach this, because they work. All right. If they didn't work, I wouldn't teach it. And so I want to encourage you to, if you feel a little uncomfortable doing them the first time, that's totally cool, right? That's totally cool. It's learning a new technique, learning a new skill. All right. And the first couple times you do it, you may not be comfortable with it, but I do want to encourage you to give it a shot. All right. And throughout the next week, begin to put these into practice as well. And then find the ones that you enjoy, find the ones that work best for you, and then incorporate that into your anger management toolbox. All right. So don't think, oh, this is a bunch of weird stuff. This is for women only. It's not. All right. This stuff works. All right. Not that you have to enjoy all of them, but find one or two or three of these techniques that will help you, that work for you, that you enjoy to do. All right. And I guarantee you, you're going to see some results today. That's the reason why I teach this. All right. So we're going to start with this. We kind of talked about this okayness. All right. Okayness is a calm body and mind. All right. So that's kind of where we want to be, right? There's going to be times where we might get, our feelings start to escalate. We celebrate, get happy, mountaintop experience. And other times we get sad, we get depressed, we kind of go down into a valley, right? But this okayness is kind of like right in the middle, right? And that's kind of where we want to be, all right? And a couple weeks ago, the very first technique that I gave you was to answer the big question, right? How many of y'all remember the big question? Those of you that weren't sleeping, you might remember this question, all right? Those of you that were sleeping, here we go. The big question is, what do I need right now to be okay and healthy in the long term? All right. So what do I need right now to be okay and to be healthy in the long term? All right. And remember what I said, this is about what you need, right? Not about what I can do for you. All right, or what others can do for you. That's not what it's about. This is about what do you as an individual. So ask yourself, what do I need right now to be okay and healthy in the long term? All right. This is the first thing you want to do whenever you find yourself getting frustrated, irritated, annoyed, or angry. You want to ask yourself this question: what do I need right now? So that's the first level of anger management, right? And so what that's going to do is it's going to take you out of the irrational side of the brain, that is impulse and instinct and reactionary, and it's going to move you over into the rational side of the brain where you begin to think and use your reason, right? And it's also going to take your focus off of what is causing the anger, and it's going to put it on to you and to something else. And this question in itself, I've seen guys in my office be absolutely escalated with anger, yelling, cussing, slamming things around, not wanting to, just wanting to go off, right? And I ask them this question, and they will begin to come down and get calm. And it is the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it is so cool to see that. And so that's the one thing that you can do. And if you see a peer of yours that's beginning to get escalated, get irritated, annoyed, starting to get angry, pull them aside, right? And ask them this question, right? Now, it's not what others can do for you, right? So if you want to watch TV, you want to watch the football game, and one of your peers wants to watch a movie, right? And then you get mad and you storm away, and someone comes up and says, "Hey, ask yourself, what do I need right now to be okay?" And it's not, well, I want to watch the football game, right? Because that's what someone else can do for you, right? And so you got to take that out. It's not what others can do for you, but it's what you need right now. And so for that, it might be, well, I just need 10 minutes to kind of go outside and smoke a cigarette or take a walk around the house and maybe do some breathing exercises, right? Or it might be, well, I just need a few minutes to maybe sit and talk with you, and we can kind of discuss this and kind of until I calm down, right? So that's kind of what do you need right now to be okay, right? And that's kind of the okay is kind of to be in the middle. You're not elevated, but you're not depressed either. So it's just a general state of okayness, general state of feeling calm and okay, right? So that's the first question that you need to ask yourself. Now we know that both internal and external triggers will automatically activate your irrational brain, right? This is going to stimulate your sympathetic nervous system, right? And so it's going to pump your body and your brain with chemicals, right? And so what we know is that the automatic nervous system, right, when it gets turned on, it's going to pump your brain full of adrenaline, right? That's the hormone that gets the heart pumping, right? It's going to get you excited, right? This is what you feel when you're exercising. Your body's being pumped full of adrenaline. When you go from a state of sitting on a couch to go running or to get excited, that adrenaline gets going, right? It's going to pump you up, right? This is what you need if you're you're a witness to a car wreck and you see a car that's overturned, right? And people are trapped in it, and you go up and you try to lift it, and all of a sudden you're able to lift the car up and get the people out of it. That's adrenaline, the power of adrenaline being pumped through your body. The second chemical that's going to get pumped through your body when your automatic nervous system begins to activate is cortisol, right? And so this is the stress hormones. We kind of talked about this in the last couple of weeks. Cortisol, that's what you feel when you begin to feel stress. You begin to feel some anxiety in your body. That's cortisol. And so both adrenaline and cortisol are designed to rev up your body, to take you from a state of okayness to an elevated state, right? So you're sitting in your room and someone comes bursting in your room and scares you. You're going to have an automatic injection of adrenaline and cortisol, because do you need to practice fight or flight, right? And so you either need to run away or you need to stand and fight, right? And so this is adrenaline and cortisol that begins to circulate through your body, right? And so that's the automatic nervous system. It's designed to get you pumped into action, to get you turned on, to get you revved up and ready to take action. And you don't have to think about it, right? Someone comes bursting in your room in the middle of the night, yelling and screaming. You don't have to sit and think, well, somebody just opened up my door. They burst in. They're yelling and screaming. What do I need to do? Well, first thing I need to do is open my eyes. The second thing I need to do is get my left foot off the bed and then get my right foot off the bed and then stand up and then get my shoes on. Take a deep breath. Oh, I smell fire. So what's that mean? That's not the way it works, right? It automatically pumps you up. You begin to react and you begin to jump into action, and you don't think about it, right? And so that's the automatic nervous system, right? The second part of our bodies, of the nervous system, is the parasympathetic, right? So the parasympathetic has the opposite effect, right? The automatic nervous system gets us excited. The parasympathetic wants to calm us down, right? Bring us back down, right? And so this helps us to relax our muscles. It slows our heart rate. It slows our blood pressure. It helps us to kind of return to normal, to the okay state, right? And so it returns the rest of our digestive and immune systems and sleep and all of that. It returns it to normal, right? And so this is kind of the amazingness of our bodies, right? We get excited with the automatic nervous system, but then we're able to calm ourselves down with the parasympathetic nervous system. And so, a great example of this is when we have sex, right? You get excited first, right? That's the automatic nervous system. And then we have a reaction that immediately, within moments, puts us back down into a relaxed state, right? And so that's kind of how that's the perfect picture of how our bodies react to the automatic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. But we can tap into the paranormal or the parasympathetic nervous system anytime we want, right? And so really this is the part of anger management that we need to get to, right? So you have an anger situation, right? And you begin to escalate your feelings, right? So you go into the fight or flight, right? This is where we begin to act into our instinct. We begin to respond without even really thinking about it, right? And that's the irrational side of the brain that's taking control. We're being pumped full of adrenaline and cortisol, all right? And so sometimes you might get up to a level 1 anger, or which is usually like feeling annoyed. You might get up to like a level 4 anger, which would be maybe like the beginning stages of feeling angry, or you can get all the way up to like a level 10 where you begin to physically assault somebody to punch them out. And this is where we begin to see the negative consequences of our anger, begin to feel, get arrested, lose our jobs, and things like that. And so the goal is when we find ourselves beginning to activate, right, and our anger begins to go up, what we want to do is activate the parasympathetic nervous system so that it calms us down, right? And so not that we don't get angry, right? That is not our goal. That is called stuffing the anger. And that's what we talked about in week 1. When we stuff our anger, we put a cap on it. We don't let it go up. And then what happens? It blows up sideways, right? And so it builds and builds and builds. All that pressure builds and builds and builds until it just blows up, right? And then that has consequences with it as well. So the goal is not to experience anger. The goal is to experience anger, right? But at healthy levels, right? Keep it healthy. Keep it to where we're able to still get the issues resolved, where we're still able to work through the situation and practice conflict resolution, right? And so that's kind of the goal of anger management, is to keep it from going all the way up off the